Okay, I'm not sure what just happened, but
Yeah, that was really
is that any
strange.
better?
Yep, you sound perfect, but we lost all the people in the waiting room. The room
I
restarted. I
can't
don't
hear you
know.
though.
You can't hear me? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Oh wait, yes, but hold on one sec.
Everything okay? I think something weird is happening. Now your sound got funky again. Hey,
How about
Mario.
how about now?
Now, well, you are fine. Jim is
Oh,
having some
how's
sound
how's this?
that now you're good. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Did you restart the room?
I pressed the wrong meeting. I pressed Nikata UFT instead of our teachers art club.
Oh, okay, so you bounced us out and we had to start again.
Right. Is that everybody in the waiting room? Is that we all got bounced?
Everybody got closed out. So I hope they're all coming back.
Yeah, I've seen people entering the room.
I'm gonna blame it on you.
Yeah, you have to. How many people were in the waiting room when it happened?
There were about 4.
All right, well, they're good. 4 people entered the waiting room. I see now.
Yeah. And we had about 100 people registered.
I saw that. Yeah. So we should be.
Jim, I'm gonna make you co-host also, so
Okay,
that you
great.
can share during the presentation. All right. Do you want to test whatever you're sharing with us before I let people in?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm basically going to be sharing this hold on. This Chrome window.
Ah,
So yeah, it's
perfect.
basically going to be walk through of the site. I have a document here as well that I'll kind of be reading off of.
Great.
So Jim and I were at the other day, and we went over the thing. Steph, maybe you might want to do a brief hello and then introduce me. I'm going to go over the Nikata UFT website and discuss the connection between the exhibit coming up and how it's going to use this platform that Jim's developed. And then
Okay.
I'll introduce Jim, and he's going to take over from there. And then Jim said if we have a lot of time, I think the next thing would be to get teachers to actually log in and try to start something, even a small sample show on their own if they wanted to.
I don't know if you read your email, but one of our members, Risa, emailed me
Yeah,
that
I
she's
saw that.
she's been using your program for months since we
Oh,
first
great.
heard about it. And she loves it. It's amazing. She just has one question while
Okay.
we're without everybody. She said, she asked me to ask you about the music. She loves the addition of the music, but she said it cuts off shorter than the amount of time listed for each song. Is she doing something wrong or is it a glitch?
It's probably a glitch. We did actually just very recently redo how the audio files play. So I'm
Okay.
hoping that will fix any issues that she's having.
Okay.
But if not, then I can go in and look at her show and see why it might be happening.
So what I'll do is I'll have her try it again and see if it worked itself out. And if not, can I give her your contact information to get?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You might want to share that anyway with our members tonight. You could put it in the chat once everybody's
Sure.
in. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I was kind of, sort of going through planning on going through it so people could follow along and do it. But if you'd rather I can also just sort of go through how it's done, and then after that, everyone can, anyone who wants to can try.
Yeah, let's do that
Okay,
first. So
sure.
you could like show it all off
Yeah.
first and we could see what
Sure,
it could
sure.
do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to start letting people in, and then at about 10, what time is it?
6:57.
How about at about like 7 minutes after I start and I introduce myself and everybody, and then we go from there?
Yeah, sounds good to
Sounds
me.
good.
Okay. Mario, by the way, did you get my email a couple of days ago that I asked you a question about the passing rates? You never got back to me.
I was just trying to think today because I wrote to Karen. I said, who sent me an email to ask Karen a question?
No, I asked you because she wouldn't answer me.
Right. So, but I don't have the answer. I was going to re-ask her on say that she knows that you asked her, but I was just going to remind her because first of all, I sent her the information on tonight, and then we're doing a very exciting show with a guy from Ireland, a fashion show for high school students and college students based on found objects.
Yeah, isn't that also tonight right now?
No.
Yes, it is, because I signed up for it and I can't do both. So
Joe Couture? Oh, the webinar. They have the webinars every week. Yeah,
well, they're doing a live webinar, then it's recording directly to YouTube. So
That's Rory. I
yeah.
had a meeting with Rory, one-on-one. He from Ireland. He got in touch to us through the website, and the DOE is going to replicate it and do it this year. So that's exciting.
I'm very excited about it. I was kind of disappointed when I realized it was the same night. It was tonight. So
But we're going to be on the ground floor on that. So NICADA is going to be a sponsor, some sort of sponsor for it. So
perfect.
that'll be great. All right, let's let them in, and
right.
I'm just going to throw a few things in the pot so I could eat after I finish talking.
Okay.
Way behind schedule.
All right.
As soon as you introduce me, I'll run downstairs and start and do the NICADA introduction.
All right. You want to stop sharing for now, Jim?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Ding dong. Like Julia Childs today. The workshop is actually a cooking with the Mario workshop.
Yes. Cooking with Mario. We're going to dice our onions. Just gonna, wow, everybody's coming in. This is great. And it's perfect timing, as you said, because we all have art shows to do every spring. So
yeah.
Just gonna give a 5 to 6 more minutes and let people filter in.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good. It's one of those times somewhere in the world. Hi.
Hello.
This is the club portion where we all just talk and mingle. How's everybody doing?
Completely informal, totally informal.
Hey, Mario.
Hello.
Yeah, don't be afraid to put your mic on and interrupt each other and talk to each other. And I think you could share it through the chat with each other if you know each other. And then once it's time to start the workshop, we'll ask everybody to mute. But welcome, everybody.
Welcome, welcome.
We have a big crowd. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now we're up to the mushrooms. Many people don't know that you don't even need to clean mushrooms. They're grown organically in hydroponic soil now. So take off a little bit of the dirt, if there is any, of the whatever they're using. Just
I
cook 'em.
never clean my mushrooms. A little dirt won't kill me. Happy Thursday, everybody. The week is almost over. 1 week closer to the end of school. And this crazy year. Mario, we have a question from Ohio. What are you cooking?
I am making some butternut and spaghetti squash with onions and mushrooms and a little bit of leftover chicken.
Sounds delish.
Everything is in a wok. The wok is the greatest invention ever.
So you're gonna walk and roll.
Exactly.
You gotta wait or get it yourself.
As you can see here.
Yummy.
Very healthy. And I like to cook like people paint. It's all about color when I cook.
I thought you were gonna say it gets all over the kitchen.
Yeah. And of course, I forgot my favorite red beets.
Oh, red beets are good.
Add a little red to the palate.
You were wished a buon appetito. We made this a sip and meat and had our own nice little bubbly on the side.
Need to stir this once in a while.
I'm sorry, what?
Just that needs to be stirred once in a while, then I'll come up and take it.
I think slow down on people coming in. So I'm just gonna say hello. You all, most of you know me. I'm kind of the face of the club every Thursday. This has been the most amazing journey and successful thing I've ever done online, considering I'm kind of like a tech
Have the meat.
Okay, I was gonna eat it.
tech freak. So technology kind of scares me. But you know, when you're thrown into the fire, you got to learn as you go and do what you got to do. So this has been an amazing surprise and a great journey having this club take off the way it has. And I appreciate everybody participating and volunteering to facilitate so that we can keep it going. Initially, I was just going to do once or twice a month. And this month we have something every week, which is great. Oh, thank you, Annie. And I love having all of you with me. It's something I really look forward to, the community and learning new things. And I love learning new things and figuring out how to do stuff, even though it might make my head hurt, but it's totally worth it. So I am going to, Mario, you ready to run downstairs?
I am. I'm gonna go down now.
Go, 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 go.
Everything's on the stove and simmering, and I'm ready.
I am going to hand it over to Mario, who is the NICADA UFT chair. Somebody asked about CTLE credit. There is not CTLE credit normally for our Thursday clubs unless it is through an DOE vendor. And then the vendor would offer the CTLE credit. And so this week we don't have that in the offering. We did have it when we did the MFTA meeting. So I'm going to introduce Mario, who started this whole thing. Actually, I had gone to one of these weekly clubs last summer in search of partnership and community and camaraderie in Virginia with the Virginia Art Educators Association. And it was so great that I came back and I contacted Mario and said, why don't we have one in New York City? And he said, well, how about you do it? So I said, okay. And so here we are almost a year later, and it's great. So I'm going to hand it off to Mario. He'll tell you a little bit about NICADA UFT, and then he will introduce our special guest tonight. Jim, thank you for being patient. All
Thanks,
right,
Stephanie.
Mario, it's all you.
Great. Can people hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great, great. I'd like to thank, first of all, Stephanie and of course, Jim for joining us. And it is true. Show of hands, how many people here are with our New York City art teachers? Thumbs up or whatever. We're open to almost anybody who wants to join us, and our goals are simple. We are anybody who's a New York City art teacher by default is a member of NYCADA UFT, especially if they pay dues to the UFT, because the UFT supports us. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And I've been with this organization for over 30 years. I see Jackie, my vice executive president here, Joan Davison, our ex-president, is here today. And we've been doing this for over 30 years. It's hard to believe, but we're all volunteers. And everybody who wants to be part of NYCADA UFT, even if you're not in New York City and you just agree with our principles, even if you don't teach art and you just agree with the principles of good art education and networking and collaboration within the field, you're welcome to join us. We have lots of artists and other creatives who are part of our group as well. But please understand, we may be the leadership that connects us to UFT, but the organization belongs to all of us. And that's what impressed me so much about Stephanie. Stephanie was one of our high school art teacher of the year recipients. And when she said, I'd have this great idea, the way we're running NYCADA UFT is to understand we're all volunteers. And if somebody has an idea that we could help facilitate, we'd love to make it happen. But we need people to make it happen. The old way was, this is a great idea. And then it was just left at our laps and we're struggling. Thankfully, most of us in NYCADA UFT are retired now, which is helpful, but still a lot of work. So please join us. Use our website. It's NYCATA. And I am going to just, before Jim talks, I'm going to share the website and talk about an art show that we're doing, that the deadline is actually April 27th. And if you haven't heard about it, there's still time to involve your students in it. And plus, we're going to be having an artist teacher exhibit, which is going to be a virtual exhibit for the fall. Both of these, well, at least one, but maybe both of these will be using Jim's platform. That's when we met Jim in the beginning of the year. Very exciting to meet him and find out that he had this platform, thanks to his wife, who's an art teacher, and said, I need a way to show my kids work during the pandemic. And we got in with him and been pleased. We promoted him at the first meeting of the year with Karen Rosner. And we're going to continue, and we're continuing here today. And so I'm going to share and see if I can. Okay, first you're going to see my Facebook page. I'm sorry, but I'm going to quickly leave that and go to emails. All right, and I'm actually going to go to our website. Sorry. It's as simple as typing in NYCATA, NYCADA.com. And that's where, if you're going to say, I wonder what NYCADA is up to. Well, if you use Instagram, you might get a glimpse here or there when we post things. If you're on Facebook, we have a vibrant Facebook community. If you're not part of it, please join it, because there's no real administrative block. If you have something you want to post and share about art or art education, you just post it directly. I'm always on it and I monitor it. And I've only taken one post down in about 6 years. And we've grown from 30 people to we just passed over 600 on that community. Stephanie's community through the art club has also grown in leaps and bounds. And our website is though where you're going to find the latest things. Because everybody see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So if you come to NYCADA.com, you'll see the exhibit we're doing is called Inside Outside, Young Artists Respond to the COVID-19 Pandemic. And at the end, if there's still time, I would love Joan to talk on it a bit, but all the information is here. We've done this exhibit for, I believe, 5 years, but this year we shifted it from bullying and intolerance to what has it been like living going to school, being isolated, not being able to see your grandparents, or whatever situation. We ask kids to express themselves through their artwork in this gallery. And if you look here as a sample of what Jim's going to show us, it's just the gallery space itself, and a little sample here. I don't know if this actually works if I click it. Yes. And so basically, instead of just having a PowerPoint, you could put your students' artwork and writing on here. And our exhibit Inside Outside is going to do just that. We're going to have students' artwork submitted with their writing. There's an easy form to fill out. It says here, download the entry guidelines, there's a whole teaching PowerPoint. Joan has designed a 23-page resource guide that's just more about teaching with COVID and teaching art through this time we've lived in and of this new isolation time. And then there's an entry form here where you just download your students' work and their writing. No need to send emails or anything. Everything's on one form, and Jim designed that for us. So it's a great help. It's been picked up by the state. So if you're not a New York City art teacher, you can do it through the state because NYSUT has picked it up and included all the arts. Here's our workshop information. And for example, here's tonight and how to pre-register. So if you didn't get our email, you could have come here and you could have pre-registered here. And after art club, our pandemic teacher resources. And basically, I'm always updating this to keep us fresh and new. If you like to exhibit your own artwork, there is right here on the right, click here to go to our 2020 artist teacher exhibit, and then to contact us to join us in our next exhibit. Again, Jackie is one of the committee members for the artist teacher exhibits, and this is for you as an adult. If you like to exhibit the work that you're doing, we have that availability. So we have the availability for children to exhibit their work and get recognized, teachers, and I think I've talked long enough. So
Hey,
I want to.
Mario, we have a question. Are there opportunities for D75 students in that exhibit?
We have no barriers. The only thing is if they're New York City students, they have to be within the 5 boroughs because we do work through UFT and they allow us to represent charter, Catholic, private, yeshivas, District 675. We can represent all schools because the UFT said, let's keep it inclusive to New York City. We're just, when it comes to then incorporating the state or going national, that's something as volunteers, like we really want to just keep within the five boroughs. So if you're in the 5 boroughs and you teach students, we'd love to have it. The deadline has been extended to April 27th, so there's still time. Take a look at all the wealth of material that's on our website, and please do join us. I'm looking forward to seeing how many teachers get involved and the powerful work that I'm sure that we're going to get from our always amazing New York City schools children. So please do join us. Once again, this is just a preview of what we're going to do with Jim's program, but now Jim is going to show you how you can get your own student work in your own art show and participate with school arts. I always get it right. It's school art shows, not student art shows. Am I right?
Yep.
Am I correct? Give
Yep.
me a heads up. Thank you. And I have, I think, a mild form of transpositioning words and names. But thank you, everybody. Welcome. Enjoy the night. I'm going to be listening in the background and any questions. And at the end, if we're going to have time, I believe I'll have Jackie and Joan, if they wanted to talk more about the student exhibit and the teacher exhibit, that would be great. But I'm sure everybody's dying to see how to make this great exhibit that's going to blow the socks off your superintendent and principal, and your parents and the students are going to love it. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mario.
Jim, I think I'm introducing you. Ladies
All
and
right,
gentlemen.
great. Thanks, Mario.
Sure.
Let me just, how can I end your screen share here?
Oh, I'm going to end it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So as Mario said, I'm Jim and I'm the creator of schoolartshow.com. And I just want to give a little background on the site before I dive into a demo here. So my wife is an art teacher in New York City. And last year when schools were shut down, she was tasked with putting together a virtual art show that she could share online for her students and their parents. And I'm a web developer, and my normal work centers around creating technology for live events. So I was basically completely out of work at the beginning of the pandemic. So I decided to help her build a system to create the virtual art show. So we set out to create something that was super simple to use and share, but also gave a very nice result. And after a few months, we created the site. We had a few people use it for their end of year art shows. We, really just finished it sort of in the middle of June of last year. But here we are a year later, still in the middle of a pandemic. So it seems like there's still a lot of need to do virtual art shows instead of in person. And so far we've had a few hundred people sign up to use the site. And right now it's totally free. So all you need to do is go to schoolartshow.com. You can sign up for a free account and you upload pictures of your students' artwork, and the system pretty much takes care of everything else for you. And we do eventually plan to have some kind of paid subscription model or something like that. But anything that you do while it's free, you're not going to lose access to or anything like that. So if you create it while it's still a free platform, you'll have, you're not going to lose out on your artwork or anything like that. So, that about covers the overview of, how we started and everything. So let me dive into a demo here. Let me pull up a screen share. And let's see. So sorry, I do see a couple questions just came in on the chat.
Yeah, I'm I will keep up with the
Okay.
questions. And
Okay, all right.
One is about what you're talking about. I hope you don't mind. I'll interrupt quick with the question. Sure. Okay.
Yeah, I did see someone ask if there's a limit, and yeah, right now there's no limit whatsoever. You can upload as many artworks and create as many different shows as you would like. So this is the home page. So if you arrive here, there's just a form to create your account. So basically, you would just fill all this out. You'll receive a confirmation email, and you're ready to go. So I've already got my account set up, so I'm going to go to the login page.
Somebody did just ask, our district has been strict with the new ed laws protecting student identity. Does this abide with those laws?
It's completely up to you what identification information is shared or not. So, there's not going to be necessarily an identity of the student shared on the artwork. It's up to you whether or not to list their name. You can just list their first name, but there's nothing that's going to be tying it back to an actual individual unless you make it so.
On that point, Jim, follow up, if somebody was using this for their own school, they would have the link, and the link could be shared just with the students and the parents, and that it wouldn't be like this is a public show that anybody can access. You can make the link private.
Correct. So, I'll just show you a quick. So basically what happens is you're going to you'll create the show and has this kind of crazy URL. And it's not crawlable. So it's not crawlable by Google. So it's not like Google's going to find this art show. So this URL would only be accessible to people that you share it with directly. And we do also have it on our plate. We don't have this live yet, but that you could create a password protection as well if you do want an extra layer on top of that to make sure no outside people are accessing the show. So yeah, once you create your account, you log into the system. You can really just start and create a show immediately. You can also, if you have a bunch of different classes that you're making the show for, you can organize it by art class. So, this could be like, so you just give the class a name and a grade level. The art teacher is always going to be you. And then all you do, you just need to come here, go to art shows, click on this button that says new art show, give the show a name. And if you want to organize it into a class, you can do that. Then it's going to bring you to the details page for the show. I'm going to skip over all these options for right now. I'll come back to these. But down here, you can upload the artwork. So all you need is a photo of your student's artwork. You can upload either a JPEG or a PNG or a GIF. I guess one thing to note is we've had a couple of people try this HEIC files, which are the default files straight off your iPhone's camera. We do not accept those as of now, so just something to watch out for, but all the basic image formats we accept. And so I'm just going to show you just, a quick demo upload using some famous artworks here. And, as you can see, it'll take, you can upload a bunch at a time. You can also drag and drop them to this area. And I'm just going to wait for them to all upload. So they are all uploaded now. And so, I mean, honestly, you don't really have to do anything more than that. You're now actually ready to share an art show. And so
How
what
do
you can
do the names automatically generate into the artist name based on the name of the image?
Yeah, so this is the file name right here. So can you see my upload
Yes.
file upload screen? So yeah, I just named them with these names. So if you have that, if you're able to name the files before you upload them, that'll save you some time. But if not, you can you can just type in whatever you need there, and it'll save whatever you type in there. You also don't have to, again, you also don't have to use the student's name. You can leave this blank. It could be the name of the artwork, really whatever you want. And now we do have an option to add an artist statement. That's not mandatory at all, but if you do want to include an artist statement, you can do that. You can mouse over each of these to sort of preview what it's going to look like in the actual slideshow. If you don't like it, you can click the regenerate button and it will just basically put it in another gallery room in another setting with new silhouettes there.
That's fantastic. Somebody asked, are there soundtracks available? And well, okay, 2 questions. Are there soundtracks available? And I know you're going to get to that.
So yeah, I'll show that actually just one second. So I'm just going to put in some demo. Couple demo artist statements here. So yeah, if you want to include an artist statement, you can do it right here. And now I'm going to pop back up to the show options here. So right here, I can choose whether or not I want to include the artist statements at all. If I turn that off, the artist statement boxes are going to go away.
Okay.
Or, if I want them, I can choose whether, you'll see when I show you the show, the statements will display on their own slide. So you can choose whether you want that to be before or after you display the artwork. We've had some requests to hide. We have these little silhouettes that you can see here. We've had some requests to be able to generate images without those. So we have an option now where you can turn that off if you don't want the silhouettes in the gallery. And here's the music. So we have a preset, list of songs that you can add that, we have licenses for this music. Definitely our most requested feature is to upload your own music. So we are going to do that. We're just figuring out how we're going to work in disclaimers about copyright and all of that. That's kind of been our biggest issue with adding that feature, but we do want to add it. A lot of people really want it.
That's great. Someone asked if video can be added also, or if it's just images.
As of now, no, but we do want to add that. I don't know if it's going to be anytime in the very near future, but we do intend to have video added as an option.
Great.
So yeah, if you have something besides a still image to upload, you can do that.
And yeah, because some people do animation or stop motion animation that might want to, or video collage or whatever it is. Somebody also asked, can you host multiple shows at once?
So yeah, you can create as many shows as you want. Let me pop back here to the show screen. So you can see just in this demo account I've got a bunch of different shows, and you can just keep creating as many as you want. One feature request that we did have was to sort of be able to combine different shows that you have into a single link, which we do want to add, but that's not something we have yet. But yeah, you can create as many different shows as you want. If you have 20 classes that you need to create shows for, or 100, it doesn't matter. You can create as many as you need.
I'm sorry, Jim. So a teacher can do, like a middle school teacher can do the 6th grade Spring Arts Festival and the 7th grade Arts Festival, and they could divide it into 3 shows, and then not necessarily have to invite all the parents from the other grades to come see the shows of the other kids. So they could split it up into grades.
Mm-hmm.
And
yep, exactly.
One thing I remember is you did go over that the file name that you save for the photograph is what appears underneath the artwork.
Correct.
So,
but yeah, there's nothing, but yeah, you can edit, obviously sometimes these photo files have weird names.
Right,
So
you
as
can
soon as
edit
it
it and change
uploads,
it.
you can edit it to whatever you need.
Okay, we have 2 more questions. I'm sorry. Actually, now 3. Or 4. Wow. Okay. Is the show presented as a slideshow, or does the viewer just choose the pictures that they want to see?
So it's presented as a slideshow. Let me actually go ahead and open that up. I guess I have one more option to show here. You can name your show and then give it if you want to give it a short description, you can do that. Sure.
And somebody also asked if it, where did they go? Does it proceed on its own, or do you have to manually move it to the next slide?
It should proceed on its own.
Okay.
So yeah, once you have all your options set, all the artwork uploaded, you can view the show. And so it's always going to start with this kind of opening slide here. And now it's going to go through. So this is, I chose to put the artist statements before the artwork.
Is there a way to adjust the speed of each view?
Right now, I don't believe we do, but it is on our roadmap to add that in. But yeah, if you're worried about the speed, if you keep, you can do a manual control of the show.
Toggle through.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And can the show be saved as a video, such as QuickTime file that can be exported to other exhibitions?
So one thing we do want to add is a video export. But right now, what you can do is you can click this button here, download all images. So I don't know if this is going to actually come through on my screen share, but you'll see it downloads as a zip file here, and all these images are going to be included in that zip file. So say you just want to use this to generate your images, but you would prefer to actually display it somewhere else, or if you need to display it somewhere else for privacy reasons, or if you don't feel our system is up to snuff for your school, you can just generate the images, download them, and bring them to whatever system you want.
Okay, so the link that is generated to share, like let's say with parents of our school, brings them directly to your site, or the show on your site just itself. We don't download it to our computer as the show.
Yeah, right? Definitely the easiest thing to do is to just share this link out and send it to whoever wants it. But we do have that download image option in case you in case you do need to bring it somewhere else, or just want to take a couple images and do something completely different with them.
So Jim, if I recall, once you hit the link, you're taken directly to the show, not to your website, but you're taken directly to that specific show.
Correct. Yep. Exactly what you're seeing here is where people are brought to.
Can you set it up with a password if you wanted to have an extra level?
Right. So I was saying right now, I don't believe we have that option live, but we are going to set it up so you can just have a passcode that you create if you do want an extra layer of security.
I have to point out that Jim, when we first met Jim, this was really in its infancy, and we as the New York City art teachers are really the better that the word, the better model. We're helping shape this site for you as you go along, because a lot of the suggestions and things you've gotten from real life teachers who have been using it. So it's, thank you for that, Jim, and thanks to the art teachers who participate and help make this better. Like, I did notice one thing about the silhouettes, which I love, but like we had somebody said, I want to use this for older kids' work, and I want to do it without the silhouettes. And is that something that has been addressed yet, or is this something that's in the works?
Yep. So right here we do have this option where you can decide to include the silhouettes or not. If you do change the option, you'll need to save the show and regenerate the images. So if I regenerate this one, now you'll see if I just view this one, the silhouettes are no longer here. And then once the setting's on, any new images that you upload will not have the silhouettes.
And that's a great example of a teacher came with us with a problem and working with you right on from the inside. It's like we're like helping develop this program with you. So thank you so much, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have some more questions. I think, let me see, there's so many, I'm trying to go back to the last one. Monique asked, can you upload the show or record it? So basically, you already stated that we can download each slide complete, as the display, but not the whole video, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the only way to really display the slideshow, to share the slideshow as you're seeing it here, would be to share this link out with someone.
Okay. I guess a shortcut, and I don't know if this is, breaking any copyright issues with you. If they wanted to record it, I guess you could play the show while on a Zoom and record the Zoom, and then you'd have a recording of the presentation.
Yeah, I mean, that would totally be a way around it.
Yeah.
And again, it is in our roadmap to just have a video export button.
Right.
But yeah, as of now, you would have to share this link out.
See, I suck at tech, but there's a workaround. There's a workaround, but there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, that would definitely be a good workaround.
Somebody also asked, is there a content page in the beginning so that if you have multiple grades, a parent can just go to their specific grade?
We don't have that as of now, but you basically each each class or each grade would need to have their own link sent to them. Okay,
that's what was mentioned before. And somebody also said, can I save this to my computer as a PowerPoint? We already mentioned if you want to download all of the slides, it'll come into you as a zip drive, and then you create your own PowerPoint from it, right? It doesn't come to us complete. It's individual slides, correct?
Correct, exactly.
Okay. Does the viewer need high speed or quality internet?
Not really, no. I mean, we do compress the images, so it's not going to be like playing a high quality video or something like that. Okay. If you're on a really slow connection, there could be some issues, but for standard internet connection, you'll be okay.
All right. And this is,
and of course,
can you have multiple artworks on one slide, or is it only limited to one per slide?
It is one per slide right now. That is something we're looking at, and we have had a couple of people request that. But as of now, the only way we've really done it is one per slide. And I guess I do have, to whoever did ask that question. Mm-hmm. That was, we're trying to figure out the best way to do this. Would you want or need to be able to say these two go together on one slide, or could it just be sort of whatever order they're in? We just do our best to kind of put two on a slide, or would you be looking to say these two definitely go in the same on the same slide?
Right. I'm sorry, Stephanie.
That was Caitlin who asked the question. Caitlin, you want to
go ahead.
Answer?
So I'm an elementary school teacher. So, and I have probably like 400 something students. So I wouldn't want people to maybe be clicking 400 times to find their kids. So maybe just to have not that they go together, but just that there would be 2 or 3 to a slide, just so that it kind of cuts down on the
see.
clicks. But I would still
Yeah.
want every family or student to be able to see the whole school, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And
What you consider is having different layouts or multiple layout options for each page or each design, where you could have a one shot on the wall, or 2 shots, or 3 shots, or 4.
Mhm.
An additional idea.
Yeah, I think that's probably how we'll do it. There'll be an option that says, you know, how many artworks per slide do you want?
I'd like to come in, and this is an example of exactly how we're shaping what we need as teachers, and that's fantastic. The one thing to understand, if people are looking at this, students are looking at this on their phone, it's small now to begin with. I would encourage people to use a full laptop to get the full effect, and to have the idea that this is my page, this is my work, is so exciting. But when you're looking at a phone, you have to understand now you're reducing it to even a smaller size. So, and the writing component is so exciting, because so many times it's not just seeing the artwork, but then having the component of sharing the students' words and visions, even if they just wrote a sentence about their work. And of course, the ELA connection is always so strong, even though we know that the arts are the true literary tool for the world. But we'll make the English teachers and our principals happy that way as well.
More questions, I'm sorry. How is there a cropping tool that can be used, or do your frames automatically fit to the size of the artwork image?
So it will automatically fit to the size of the artwork image. I mean, we basically detect the aspect ratio of the image and then, you know, adjust the frame around it. Obviously, if you have something that's really thin or you know, really short, it could look a little funky, but basically, yeah, and any size or ratio that you want to upload should be fine.
So any cropping should be done before we upload?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And for the cropping question, yeah, definitely you want to crop right to the end of the artwork. You do have to do that offline before you upload. And we found it definitely looks best, even if you end up cutting off a little bit of it, to make sure there's no, you know, no
background,
no frame or background. Exactly. Yeah.
Is there a way to delete an image if we change our mind or want to?
Sure. And I have found this is a lot of people do email me about this, but so we might try to come up with a different or more obvious way to do it. But if you mouse over any of these works, there's a little red X right here, which I'm having trouble clicking. And then it'll give you the option to delete it. And now it's gone.
Is there a way to rearrange the sequence also?
Yep. So right here, all you need to do, everything can be drag and dropped to whatever order you need.
Great. And what about DPI? Is there a minimal resolution that the images need to be?
I mean, in terms of minimum, I mean, it's just the system that isn't going to care. You can upload any DPI that you want, but obviously just, you know, make sure it looks good to your eye. In terms of a maximum, I mean, we don't have a max DPI really. We do have some kind of total like dimension limit. And I think in terms of file size, I think we go up to 5 megabytes. It might be 10 megabytes now, but it's either 5 or 10 megabyte maximum for
each
the images.
Individual, for each image.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So in general, the higher quality you're able to upload, the better.
Yeah.
And you know, it will undergo some compression when you upload it, but no, you know, nothing crazy. So yeah, the better resolution it starts in, the better it's going to end up looking in the final product.
Somebody suggested for showing multiple images on a slide, I would like to pair the artwork with a photo of the inspiration. Oh, just an idea. That just gave me an idea. So if you wanted to show 2 photos or 2 images at once, right now, I guess the only way to do that would be to put them together in some photo editing software so that they're both in one image side by side, but then they would be in one frame. So they
Yeah.
wouldn't be isolated, you know,
Mhm.
highlighted for each one.
Yeah, that would have to be done manually right now. I mean, another possible option is you could perhaps explain it in an artist statement that shows before, and you could have one that's like, you say this was the inspiration or whatever. And so you could sort of maybe put them in consecutive slides or something like that. But yeah, you would have to either do it manually or separate them for now.
Got it. Okay. All right, you can continue. I'm sorry to have interrupted you with.
Oh no, not at all. I mean that I had more or less. Let's see.
Can you show us a sample of what it looks like?
Sure, absolutely. So this is the end product. You're not gonna be able to hear the music, but I did share a link. If anyone does want to watch or with the music, this is the link to view this show. And just want to know, for music you do have to unmute it, because browsers won't let music start automatically. You have to click a button. So down here there's an unmute button.
Okay.
I think it's great that we're having all these questions, and you're being a great moderator, Stephanie. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Something is up with this, but
I did.
How many different screens are there that you offer?
I think we have 6.
And so they would just automatically rotate?
Yeah, it's randomized right now.
Okay.
If there is a big demand to be able to to really be able to arrange it exactly how you want. It's something we've considered doing. We haven't really gotten too many requests for that. And again, if you just don't like how one particular one looks, you can always click the regenerate button to do it again.
Okay, now I have a challenge for you because you just made me
Mhm.
think of something. Sorry, my brain is always going.
Yeah, no problem.
I challenge you to create one of these to display sculptures that the kids have done. Aha.
Yeah, I mean, right now what people have done is, really just upload a picture of the sculpture and it ends up in the frame.
You could create scenes where you have empty pedestals and the sculpture
Yeah.
could sit on a pedestal instead of in a frame.
Oh wow, you're going a step beyond, Stephanie.
Sorry.
Well, that's what we do as artists, right? We think outside. It's great. Jim, you got your work cut out for you on that one.
Yeah, no, I think the biggest challenge with that, it's something we did talk about, is just the cropping, because you're going to end up with these hard edges with the background. But I think it is a great idea, if we can work it out, but I think it would also maybe put a lot of work in the teacher's hand to crop it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's definitely something we can add if there's a lot of demand for that. It wouldn't be too big of a step to do something very basic.
The teacher would have to do a free-form crop, be able to crop it so that it's exactly to the edge.
You'd have to isolate it in like Photoshop and create a PNG so you've got a transparent background, and then you could just drop it in on the pedestal or the mount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody asked if you can select different fonts.
No, you cannot as of now. Yeah, I believe we just have whatever our default font is. But again, if there's a need for that, or a lot of people want it, it's certainly something we could look at adding in.
I'd like to butt in and say, because we as teachers are very demanding of Jim's time and expertise here, and it's amazing all that he's done so far.
Yes.
You have to understand that offering this to us on the ground level for free for this whole year has been amazing for the teachers who have used it. Many have, but bandwidth is not free. So I understand the need to actually make this monetize this in some way. And we talked about how that can be. Could it be like, I want to do one show, or I want a subscription where I could use it for a month, or a subscription where I could use it for a year. But at the same time, Jim does have a way right now, if you're using his tools and things, that is called, I think, Buy Jim a Cup of Coffee. It's kind of a fundraiser Kickstarter page, right, Jim? I don't know if you have an official page, but I wanted you to really share that. I find that I from time to time when I use this, I mean, it's not a lot, but I try to put $5 or $10 in my PayPal and send it over to Jim's way, because I run a website and I know there's costs associated. And when you're looking at the bandwidth of hundreds of teachers submitting images to one site, it gets very expensive. So Jim, I'm gonna shamelessly leave it to you to plug how people can help you for this vision that you started.
Okay, thanks. I definitely appreciate that, Mario. So yeah, right here, and like I said, at the moment, everything is free. And when and if we do move to a paid model, you're not going to lose anything or suddenly have to pay to access everything you set up. But, you know, we do have server costs, and obviously it's, you know, somewhat of a time commitment to put this all together. So basically we just have donations through this service called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. And it's just in, I believe, $5 increments. So
can you share that?
You know,
is that it? There it is.
So yeah, if anyone is so inclined, it's there, and it's all greatly appreciated. And I think we do have it written somewhere on the site. Anyone who does, you know, donate or contribute through that link, when and if we move to a paid model, anything that you did contribute, it would offset any, you know, any costs. So, you know, if you paid equal to 1 year or whatever, you would not be, you know, you would get it free for a year after that.
So it's buymeacupofcoffee.com. And then they would just put in your website, and you would.
Yep. Yeah. I put it in the chat, and there's also a link right here on the left navigation of the website.
Okay.
And this is your email right here, Jim@panelsoftware.com.
Yeah.
All right. Can I post that in the chat for everybody?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
I think what we wanted to do, because it's only 7:50, Jim, we talked about actually having our teachers, like in a live hands-on workshop, actually go through and make one. All you need is 5 or 6 images of anything that you want to just make a sample. Is that something that we can try to do, Jim?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you just go to schoolartshow.com, it just takes a minute to register for your account. So yeah, if anyone wants to do that, I'll be here to answer any questions or any issues you might run into. Also, if you don't have any artwork handy, you can download the same images that I used in the demo show I showed you from here. If you just want something to, you know, to test it out with.
You know, I was playing around and I just downloaded people in my family's pictures into the frames. And I thought it would be such a fun idea to have a family reunion where everybody had to write a little bit about themselves, and then you could see their picture followed by their statement. So there's so many things you can do. So, I mean, the sky is the limit. So thanks, Jim. So how do we start? People are going to actually log on right now, let's walk them through it. And then, like I said, at the end, Joan and Jackie, if you wanted to talk briefly about the student art show and the artist teacher show, raise your finger if I could see your faces. So if you want to do that, let me know. Jackie, we want to say a few words at the end?
I can't stick around to the end. I'm sorry.
All right. Can I give Jackie the floor now for a few minutes then, everybody? Is that okay?
Yep. Go right ahead.
All right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Just to let you know that on the NICADA website, you will find information onto how to join our teacher as artist show for the fall. Right now, the deadline is going to be early September. But we're gonna gather and get it ready so that there'll be a show by the end of September. And if you have any questions, I'm at JackieCruz5@yahoo.com. And you can send me any questions that you have. If you're interested in exhibiting your own artwork, we'd be happy to share it with everyone.
And Jackie, if I could cut in, traditionally, we've always done these shows in galleries in Manhattan and the Barrico Gallery. And we're looking forward to, in the spring, of going back live and having a gallery show. And most teachers who exhibit really like to have a list of shows that they're part of. So we always give that an opportunity to grow your own portfolio, grow your own work, and grow your own creativity. This will be our second virtual show. On our website, you'll see the one we did last year was called Policing, Politics, and Pandemic. Jackie, have you guys come up with a theme for the fall, or is it open?
Actually, yes, we did. And it's the Lost Year, A New Awakening.
So that's a great title. So it could be about anything, and just what we've done this whole year. And I love the new awakening, the positivity in that. So yeah, it's on our website. Stephanie, can you put her in the chat, the email address? It's Jackie Cruz 5, correct, Jackie?
Yes, at yahoo.com.
Jackie Cruz 5.
JACKIECRUZ.
5, the number 5.
Okay, 5.
At yahoo.com.
Yahoo.com. You said put this in the chat, right?
Yeah, and if you lose it or you can't remember, just go to nycata.com, and on the right top is participate in the artist teacher exhibits, and just use the contact us page and write to me. I get that email, and then I'll forward it to Jackie and say, Jackie, here's put this person on the list. Even if you're a member and you say there's a checkbox that says include, tell me more about, put me on the list for the artist teacher exhibits. And if you're already a member, though, that will put you on a separate list. When we do art shows, we're going to use that as a targeted list. So
we'll have a flyer soon on our website, and we'll be emailing everyone who puts their name on our mailing list to remind them.
Right, and we don't know if we're using this platform, but Jackie, that's up for you and the committee to decide. And thanks again for sharing with us. And Jim, I'm gonna let you lead people into. Have people started going online and trying it? Has anybody want to chime in? Don't be afraid to turn your mics off, class.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Has anybody gone on School Arts, the site, and started making, playing around with it? Here. This is like my class. Dead silent.
I'm working on it. I'm working on trying.
I'm trying to get in. I think I can't. I think I did it originally like months ago, and now I can't remember my password, of course.
Well, Jim, can you?
There is a password recovery feature if you don't remember.
I got in. I made it.
Okay, great.
I have a question. Can you upload the pictures from another art, like a art portfolio site like Artsonia? Can you take those pictures from there and upload them onto your platform?
Not directly. You can't upload them from, say, another URL, but you could, if you wanted something from Artsonia, hold on.
It's a lot of pictures.
I don't have an account, but you could just right click, save the image, and upload it that way.
Right, you would save the image to your
the fastest way I would think of.
Okay.
Good question.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
So while people are working, it's a good time to say, we first met Jim at our State of the Art Education meeting, virtual town hall. Looks like it was so long ago, last October, when we was just coming to the grips that we weren't coming back to school in a normal way. I know many of you might have been at that meeting, and that was with Karen Raza, who comes every beginning of the year. Our first meeting is always a State of Art Education, and Karen gives a great report. And before that, it was the arts director for the DOE, has always traditionally given that report for us. So we're setting that up for September, October of this year. We have an exciting new partner. Unfortunately, high school and upper classes, it is a fashion show made from found and recycled materials. This gentleman from Northern Ireland found our website, contacted me, and it seems they also contacted the DOE. And they started very humbly a few years back with this idea of kids making clothing from found objects. And a major TV entertainment group picked it up in Ireland. And now it's been on television in Ireland, like similar to like what American Idol is here, where they highlight the top fashions that these kids create, and they vote on it throughout the viewing area. And it's moving to Dubai, Paris. It's really taking off. London, Dubai, Paris, and of course, New York. So the DOE has already started the launch. Stephanie is missing the meeting tonight. There's a webinar that they'll do every month for students. So if you have high school students, I'm thinking that at that State of the Art Education meeting, we're really going to unveil that because it's going to start in earnest in September. But I believe it's called Junk Couture. It's spelled with a K. And we're looking forward to that and seeing, hearing somebody's television.
Can somebody mute, please? We can hear your background.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll look forward to seeing you at the reception at the end of the year for the student work. We're going to have a general meeting, art reception for the artist teacher group in June. In May, we're going to have a student reception virtual for the inside outside. And then September, October, when we come back, we're going to invite Karen back, and hopefully Junk Couture will be rolling. And if you're in high school or above, again, my apologies. I was a 33-year middle school teacher, but that's going to be something that you want to look for.
You know, I'm in here and I just uploaded all my pictures and it's so easy. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Excuse me, Mario. I put a question out there. I just want to know, do we have to have New York City DOE media consent before we can even use this website for our classes? Should we be back with that? Because I know we have to do that for our school for anything that's going to be publicized, or whether we use it online, website, Spring Arts Festival. So if we're going to tap into some other source of software to highlight our students' work, would that be sufficient?
I think, Jim, we answered this earlier because we're thinking that you're using this link. It's a private link for you. So you would talk that over with your administrator. Obviously, you're going to say, this is a great way to have our traditional art show. And also maybe even, you could do it any way you want. So if your principal says, let's have them fill this out, and obviously that's something you would want to do. But generally, you're not really putting anything on the web. This is the link belongs to you as the teacher, and you only share it with the people that you want to see it. Now, if the principal's worried that John's mother in 6th grade is going to see Susan's artwork from 8th grade, I mean, you could just do first names, last initials, and you're not posting pictures of the children. You're posting pictures of the artwork and maybe their writing. So again, I guess, Jim, you could chime in, but I think it's up to each teacher to figure out what their school thinks would be best. But when you explain it to them, you need to say, this is not something that's like a Facebook or something that anybody can just go to and find. They don't have the website. Obviously, a parent and a student could share it with their grandparents and with anybody they want. But in reality, you don't have to put much information. You could just do first name, last initial, if that's something you're concerned about.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Joan, is that what we're doing for for the Inside Outside show. Did you think about how we're going to show the students' artwork? Your microphone needs to come on, Joe.
I think it's up to the teacher because we have name of the student. So whatever the teacher wants to put is fine. I mean, it could be first name, whatever. But I have a question for Jim. And I have a question for everybody. How do I do that?
You ask it.
Okay. And I see everybody?
Jim, can you stop sharing for a second? Maybe the screen could open up a little bit. You're gonna see there's a lot of people in this meeting. I counted about 50. So we're in two screens.
No, so a lot of names are familiar to me as having participated in past inside outside shows. And I just wonder by a show of hands if they're really there. I see just names. If you're going to participate in the Young Artists Respond to the COVID.
Yeah, we could also do reactions. If you hit reactions, you see I have a little thumbs up. Reactions are just, some people, I just see their names. I don't see their faces.
Haya, are you going to participate? Yeah, okay.
I see some hands
I
going.
mean, encourage me.
Yeah, I would really like to. I'm gearing my kids to produce some work. So, I've also been, now that I'm online just for a second, the consortium schools put out a very interesting journal of COVID pandemic art. And it's really nice.
So maybe some of them could go in the exhibit.
Well, it's already a journal. It's from the consortium high schools. So I've been using that as an inspiration for my kids. I teach elementary, but I'm trying to get them to, unfortunately, engagement has been low. I'm remote, but I do have my groups that come constantly, consistently, which is wonderful.
You only need 10, but
10.
But
right.
what I'm thinking, if there's a consortium and there are pictures, then there must be teachers who submitted their pictures. And if you give me the names, I could contact those teachers, or Mario the names. We can contact the teachers to put the images and hopefully statements in this show. And 5 of the 10 that you're submitting, you can submit to the state exhibit. And
I didn't know that we could do that. We could also.
Yes.
Can we also submit to the state, even though we're not in the state?
Sure, because
we
are in the state.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Okay, so this is new information. You don't have to.
That's new. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so 5 of the 10 that you submit. So I expect New York City, considering we're doing this, will have a lot of artwork. But you see, in the state, there's a committee called the Arts, ARTS committee. And this leads me to a question I have to ask Jim, because for NYSIT, the performing arts people are submitting videos, 2-minute videos, 10 minutes maximum per teacher. So Jim, is that okay?
Oh yeah, yeah. And again, I mean, it's not something we're gonna have ready in like the next 2 weeks.
Right, which means that New York City, somebody asked, can they submit a video?
Yeah, so they can be submitted through that form that we set up. But in terms of integrating them with the art show, it's going to be a few weeks before it's able to actually go into a live art show.
Wait, so our deadline is April 27th. Will you be able, if somebody wants to submit a video, like we said, 2 minutes, could they do it for New York City as well? You think you'll have it ready?
Well, we don't have the New York City the submission form set up to do that, but we could add a field to allow that. And the way that we do it is you have to link to a Google Drive link or a YouTube link, and then the system will download the video from there.
Well, give them a chance too. Right, and then
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you, then another question to you is when people download the images, do the names attach to the images also, or if you want to like put the images in another kind of file and they download the images, will the names accompany the
Yeah,
title?
so that little name plaque that shows up will be in the downloaded image.
Oh, good. So now how are we going to put in the statements? People are going to write in their statements. Will it just be automatically?
So yeah, statements show, there's a little box right below each artwork where you can.
Yeah, no, they're going to
can-
write the statements, but how does it get onto the show? How does it get onto the gallery show?
So in terms of the actual gallery, I mean, there's basically a dedicated slide for the statement, which can be placed either before or after the artwork.
Right.
Yeah. So as long as you write it in there, it's automatically
No, but
in the
do
show.
you have to write it in because it's already typed?
You mean in terms of from when people do their
Yes.
submission on the form?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll automatically pull in the accepted submissions, including the statement, the artwork, and the name.
Okay.
I think, Joan, we're going to set up a meeting after the deadline to really focus in on how to get this onto the onto studentshow.com.
Right. My question was the contact information for the teacher. How Mario and I are going to get that?
It's in the form, Joan.
I know it's in the form. How are we going to access?
I'd like to say that we're going to do this, and we can't take up 50 people's time on a specific question on setting up the.
Okay, I want to share an idea that maybe at some point, maybe not this year, but there'll be a box, like people could add frames to the picture area. If they want to put more pictures, you could.
Right, we discussed that. We discussed that earlier. Right, we're going to look into like where they could do 2 pictures on a page or 3 or 4.
Right, and then my last thing is, does anybody have a question about the show?
Can somebody, yes, please post the link to the consortium? Someone's been asking in the chat.
Oh, yeah, as a resource.
Yeah.
Which consortium?
Can you post the link to the resource that
To the
you're
high school? Yeah, higher. Yeah.
Oh, I did. It's right here. It's the one that says flipbuilder.com. It's in the chat.
Is it working?
That's the link to the consortium schools journal.
Okay.
And I asked if it worked, and somebody did respond to me. Yes, it is working. So I just used it because I felt that it was a really good resource for as an inspiration. I've been showing it to my students. I've been showing it to my students for this project.
Good.
As like it's a jump start to show them what high school kids have been doing and what they can create from their art. And it was my observation. I did this lesson about thinking about how they feel.
Yes, I'm on.
And I did this lesson about, we had our notebooks and we talked about what's going on with the pandemic and writing 3 sentences about how they're feeling right now. And I also showed them some videos. There's a very, you know what, I will include the video. There's a PBS video that I show to my kids about artists responding to the pandemic.
Great.
So I can show that as well. And then there was another video that I did post and showed it to my kids. It was okay, but I posted it anyway. And it was actually my observation lesson. And we did discuss, you know, how we were feeling and different ways we write in our journals and how to incorporate our sketches and our writings and how to take those sketches and writings and rework them into a work of art. So
Finally.
it started with sketches. It started with sketches and words.
Good.
Thank
And
you, Haya.
yeah, so I'll post those videos as well, because I find them to be they're not the best videos. Like there's a couple of like weird cuts that go back and forth, but I can't control that. But I think the material is still good. So I'm going to go back to my lesson. I'll post it. Thank you.
Does
I wanna-
anybody, wait, does anybody else have any resources that you can
Questions?
share? Yeah, questions, resources.
I have a question, but it's for Jim.
Go
So I
ahead.
can wait.
That's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
I logged onto the School Art Show and I started to upload some artwork, but I noticed I can only do it one artwork at a time. Is that correct?
No, you can do
Um,
multiples. I just did multiples myself.
You did?
yeah, you
'Cause I
should definitely
tried
be
it.
able to do
Yeah.
multiple.
If you click the control button as you're selecting your images, it'll do a whole bunch at once, and then you just hit upload or okay or whatever it is. Yeah.
I also have a question, Jim.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Somebody's
That
microphone.
worked. Thanks, Steph. That works.
No problem. Somebody's speaking, but you're coming in like really distorted.
That's how my computer has been. But I haven't been posting my question in chat, but it seems like I got muddled over.
If you can hear us, you'll have to retype it in the chat now. And Stephanie, can you do, because your microphone sounds like you're talking from underwater right now. So if you type it in the chat now, because we really can't understand anything right now. Just, do you hear me?
Yeah, retype the question. I don't know who that was.
I've been sharing the screen on, speaking of resources, on the teacher's resource guide for the Inside Outside. And you saw this professional artwork you can show your students. It's a great, some of the best work from the past Inside Outside, amazing work. So you could share this with your students as motivation as well. There's also a section with poetry that you could use, some done by an elementary school teacher in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and then professional poetry, Mother and Son Lansing News and other references. Joan did a fantastic job on putting this together. And if you want to find it, again, if you go to our website, it's as simple as, sorry, I'll go back a few. It's right here. There's entry guidelines are here. View, download the free 23-page teacher resource guide. You're submitting 10 student artwork. So it's not like you have to beg everybody in your, whatever students that you're doing. The students who gravitate towards wanting to tell stories through their artwork, you know who they are. There's students who maybe don't connect to the to literal words and to writing, but they connect to picture making and storytelling through picture making. You know who they are. And this is the way to really tap in and get them to express themselves. And that's something we've been doing forever. It's NYCADA UFT is dedicated to giving children a forum to exhibit their work, to share their work, and to let people besides, oh, look what I did, Mom, and let me hang it on my refrigerator. We want to share it with as many people as possible. We want to see the power that we know is inherent in our children's voices. And so we look forward to April 27th. Hopefully, we're going to have a plethora of images to go through. And we're coming to the end of our time. So I want Jim to kind of wrap up and maybe share. I'm going to stop sharing here. And I think I've allowed people to share. Does anybody want to share something they created maybe while we were talking? Any brave souls? I think when I go
I just want to add that.
Go ahead.
Want to ask that person who had the question, if you're still here, can you type your question in the chat so I can ask it for you? Because I don't know, your speaker is not working. Oh, Akila says, I went to the website and tried to start, but it comes up as my first name. I go by my last name at my school. How can I change that?
Sure. So yeah, I think there were a couple questions in the chat about this. So you can't change it as of now, but that's not going to show up to anyone except you or anyone that logs into your account. So hold hold on, let me share real quick here. So you'll see my my teacher name that comes up here is just going to always be my first name, James, but there's nowhere in the actual art show that gets shared out that is going to show up at all. The only things that people are going to see are whatever you put into the show here. So you can give the show a name, that's going to show up, the description. The class actually won't even show up. That is just for your own organizational purposes. So, you know, if you did want to call this Mrs. Johnson's class, you can do that. But again, my first name is not not showing up anywhere here in terms of what actually gets shared out. So hopefully that does answer the question. But yeah, again, if that is an issue, a privacy issue for any reason with anyone, you can reach out to me. But really, it's only someone who actually logs into your account that would ever be able to see that.
How can we get a copy of the chat? There were so many ideas put in and answers. Mary?
It might be in the recording, Joan.
But we don't get the recording.
Mario gets the recording, yeah.
Recording also goes on to YouTube, but you can't obviously access the chat through there. Everything we do is on Nikata UFT. You can go to there's a link to our YouTube channel, and all the art clubs are there. So all the workshops we've done some incredible work that you could go back into the catalog and
no,
just.
How can we get access to the chat today when this meeting is over? How can we?
I'll try to get it to you.
Really?
Yeah, I'll try to get it to you.
There are resources that we can put on our website.
Or you can take a picture of it from your iPhone if you go into the chat.
It's so long. I tried to copy it, but it didn't work.
I think it's part of the recording process where the chat is saved. So I'll look into it. I'll look into it for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to put something up here. I can. Oh no, that's not. So are people making, it's like, this is like the art making session of our workshops, but you're making school gallery shows.
It is really easy.
I'm gonna put up, see if I could. No, it's select all. I'll do it the other way. I want to end and really put up that website again. And I encourage us, I know we're not multimillionaires and hedge fund managers, but www.buymeacoffee.com/school art show, or just go to buymeacoffee.com, look, and then put in school art show. Is that right? How it would work, Jim? And I want to see.
Yeah. If you go to schoolartshow.com, the link is
just for the amount
link is there.
The amount of agita that me and Joan have been giving him just to get these personal shows off the ground. He deserves it as well. And then I know one of our committee people said she's already done 3 art shows for her school using the platform. This is amazing. This is what networking and collegiality means. This is what having a professional organization is all about. We're here for the field. We're here for each other. And as we come back to getting normalized and live, we look forward to having some more virtual meetings, but we'd love to see you come down to the UFT in Manhattan, because then we get free fruit and cheese and crackers at every meeting. And I know people want CTLE. We're trying to do CTLE, but the UFT has a nasty little problem that they charge us $30 and a lot of paperwork to do CTLE. So we're looking for groups that have CTLE, and we'll do them virtually. We can't do them at the UFT, but we can do them virtually. And that way we can get people CTLE, because I know that's more and more what everybody needs. But the good old fashioned way when we first started teaching and nobody gave us professional development was we looked for it ourselves because we needed it. and we were the only art teachers in our classroom. So I salute all of you that came here tonight. This was a record crowd. I think we had almost 50 or 60 at one point.
Yeah.
And are we ready to end? Can we take our mics off and all have a kudos and a hip hip hooray or a clap? Can we all take our mics off right now and celebrate us? And thank you for making it through another year.
Right, JP. All right,
Awesome. Thank
JP.
Thank you, Jim.
Hey,
Good job.
JP.
Thank you.
All
Hi,
right, thanks,
Joan. I don't know if you
everyone.
remember
Awesome.
me.
JP, we
I
love you.
do.
Appreciate it.
Good to see
Go,
your face.
JP. Go, JP.
So
Right
you're gonna
on.
put your work on. I don't have to put your work on, Julie?
I sent you everything. You got it.
I
right?
know, but are you gonna put it on too?
What do you mean?
So I have to put your work on then.
No,
Because it
no,
didn't
she
work
sent
for-
it. She submitted
I
it through
sent it
the.
to you.
No,
I
you sent it to Jim's, to Jim, or you just sent it to me?
I just sent it to you because it was like a
Okay,
month ago.
I have it, then I'll
Yeah,
do it.
you
Okay, I
have it.
have it.
Okay, good.
Okay, can I get some butternut squash now?
I eat it all. And not only did I eat it all, but then I take all the leftovers my kids don't eat. So I chop and some black beans and rice and chop. I just mix it all in. I eat it all together, put it in a
You
wrap.
go,
but
bro.
I hope you all had time to have dinner, but that's what Art Club is about. Have
No,
a drink, have some dinner, and let's just relax. You know, my heart goes out to everybody who's had to work, and I miss teaching for one reason, the students, but all the hard work I know is involved in teaching art, and it must be multiplied during this pandemic. So my heart goes out to all of you who are working currently, and all I can say to you is, when you retire, all of a sudden you find a million other things to keep you busy.
I just want to remind everybody to keep an eye out for the email that I'll be sending tomorrow for next week's. We'll be with Matt Young again, who has been amazing, and he'll be teaching us vector portrait drawing. So stay tuned.
Awesome.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Good to
you.
see you all.
Everybody.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night and a
This
good
was
week.
great. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jim, Mario, and staff.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank
Good
you,
night,
everyone.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Stop sharing. Oh, okay.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Joan. Thank you,
You're
whoever's
welcome.
left. And should I just leave? I think the whole meeting is going to go off if I leave. Or you're going to do it on your end?
I can do it too. Joan, what is your email?
ART
ART
JOAND
JOAND
at AOL.com.
Yeah, I think we're the only ones here. A few people probably left their cameras
If
on.
I find the chat content, I'll send you the link.
Yeah, because a lot of resources could maybe be put on our website.
Yeah.
More work for me, Joan?
And me.
All right. Good night, everybody.
It was a great meeting. Actually,
Thank
today's my mom's
Thank
birthday. I'm
you.
going to head over
Stephanie, you
there
did
now.
a great job.
It was a great
Thank
meeting.
you.
And
Thank
it really
you.
tied in with the artist teacher exhibit and with our student exhibit. So
Well, are
thanks
we going to
again.
have the artist teacher in June?
No, they're going to have a meeting in June. We're going to do it, Stephanie, before you leave. I think the last Thursday in June, we're going to do an artist teacher reception where they're going to go, artists are going to talk about their artwork from the last show. And then Jackie's going to give them all the information to participate and work over the summer to participate in the fall show. So that's the last Thursday, like school's over on a Friday. I think it's the 26th.
And that'll be through this link?
Yeah, we're going to do it I think they want to. I mean, again, I don't try to step on their toes. They really decide what they want to do and what they want to use. But I suggested that it's available and that would be the date to do it because we're going to put it in the New York Teacher to appear on June 17th. And that would lend itself to letting them know it's going to be the last Thursday of June. Is that the 26th?
Checking now. April.
What's June 17th?
That's when it's going to be in the New York Teacher. That's the deadline, so that it's going to appear in the New York Teacher. So it'll be timely. They'll open up that week, and then it's actually June. Oh no,
Actually, it's the 24th because the last day of school is
You're
the
right.
25th.
It is the 24th.
Yeah.
And the 17th, the New York Teacher comes out, and it'll be. That's what the the blurb's going to say that we're doing a reception and learn how to participate in our artist teacher exhibits and be part of the fall one. So it's
Right,
perfect time.
so I will book that, so I
Have a
don't,
good trip to Florida, Mario.
Yeah, and I'm
It's
going. I'm leaving
beautiful.
next Thursday. So are you down there? Where are you, Joan? What town? Am I going to visit you?
Sarasota, sure, Sarasota. But you're going down to Miami?
all right, folks, I'm
Miami,
gonna
yes.
leave. You can close out the meeting, Mario.
All
Have
right,
a
I'll
good
talk
night.
to Joan a little bit. Joan,
right.
it's just me and you, and Natasha, if you can hear us, you're welcome to join our meeting. Natasha's with us. This was fun, Joan. Good meeting. Well done. And it's really, the organization is growing virtually through leaps and bounds of COVID.
Virtually.
It
Yeah,
is.
well,
COVID, too.
I'm heartened that a lot of people came to this meeting.
Yeah. And
But
I'm
there are
sure-
a lot to be, and I'm glad New York City is coming first. So when I do NICET, it'll be easier for me.
Yeah, you'll just, and once the 27th comes. Now
But
that's-
I'm a little concerned that under the picture should be the name, the school, and the teacher's name.
But isn't it going to be with the writing?
That's how it was on the PowerPoint.
Yeah, but this is different. For example, the writing is going to be first.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The writing is going to have the teacher's name, the school, and the student's name in writing. Then the next slide is the actual artwork.
Oh, how do you know that?
Because you could do that. You could do whatever you want.
Why can't it be on the picture?
Because there's a very small little space there. But on the other side is the writing can have everything.
Okay.
So, and then what we'll do is after the 27th, if you want to have a meeting, I'll be on the road, but I'll come in and we'll have a Zoom meeting, me, you, and Jim, and we'll go over it together if you have any questions on how to get it to the final product. Don't worry about, once you get all the work, we can have a meeting and say, okay, now how do we make this into an exhibit?
Yeah, I asked him. He said he's going to make it easy.
It'll be easy, Joan. The whole point was to make this easier for you. But once you learn it, it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
All right, so you're in Sarasota. I'm going to drive from Greensboro to Miami, and then I'm going up to, from Boca Raton, I'm going up to Sebring, Florida, which is in the middle of Florida. Then I'm going over towards Tampa. Then I'm going to Orlando.
Well, you could come to me because I don't know. You have to see the map because I'm not far from Tampa. I'm an hour and a half.
All right, let me open up a map right now. And I have this poor lady. I hope her mic is off. I don't know if she can hear us.
Bring your bathing suit.
Well, of course I'm going to be in Florida. You think I'm going to bring my winter coat? Let me see. Let me just hold on. Don't leave. I'm going to put a map up because I'm really going to go in a second too. I'll just quickly put map Florida. All right, I got a map here and I see where you are. Okay, so I'm going to see where Orlando is. So yeah, it's a little bit of a problem, Joan, because I'm from Sebring is directly northeast of you. Sebring, Florida, is directly northeast. It's not in the water.
Is it before Tampa?
It's in the middle of the peninsula. There's no water around. It's lake and marsh and stream and that's.
Why are you going there?
I have two brothers who live there that I'm going to visit. So from Boca, it's one road that takes me there. And then to go up to you, I'd have to come left and down. I'll see how much time I have. And I could always text you once I'm there.
Yeah.
Because then I was going to go over to just south of Tampa. I guess we'll see. I'll play it by ear.
I am south of Tampa.
I see that. Yeah, but he's like just outside of Tampa. You're past Bradenton. I see.
Bradenton.
Yeah. What I'll do is once I'm there, if I see that the timing is working, I'll let you know. I'm playing everything by ear. There's no set itinerary.
But the weather has been beautiful.
I could imagine that. I could imagine. All right, Joan. So I'm going to close this meeting now.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a
Uh,
good trip.
Thank you.
When do you come back to
I'm coming
New
back before our next board meeting, which is May 20, our board meeting's May 23rd. I think I'm coming home the 21st.
Oh,
Because I'm gonna head over to Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and then up to Oklahoma, and then back to Nashville before I go back to North
oh,
Carolina.
nice trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna visit some people. My brother, I'm gonna visit my brother, my friend who's passed. His brother lives in Nashville, and another friend in Oklahoma. So it's gonna be a lot of driving.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Well, playing it by ear, I'm gonna try to get the itinerary done. If I run out of time, I'll just go back and get on the train and
Next
come back
year.
home.
Next
Yeah,
year.
always time. All right, bye now.
Bye.